So hi everyone. So ready to call the meeting to order. I've got 101. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof?
No.
I see none. So if anything arises, just notify during the meeting, please notify the clerk. I need a motion, please, to approve the agenda as circulated. Thanks, John. I got John, seconded by Sherry. Thank you. All in favor? That's carried. Looking for a motion to approve the previous minutes of the February 24th MAS meeting.
So moved, Chair.
Thank you.
Second.
Seconded by John. All in favor? That's also carried. Is there any business arising from the last minutes? I guess a lot of that's going to be taken care of at close, isn't it? Okay, thank you. We have no delegations, so we're already up to section 7, staff and committee reports. This is a report from Elizabeth, our MAS manager. We are monthly statistics. Thanks, Elizabeth. I think you're muted, Elizabeth.
There we go. The attached statistics are for the month of February. The dog intake for February is about half of the intake of the 2 previous years, and all the dogs were returned to owner in February. The average number of days that the dogs remain at the facility has decreased to 6.4, and the number of cats entering the facility is down from last year, but the same as 2019. Unfortunately, one stray cat did come in that was hit by a car, and by the time animal control got to Coburg, the animal had passed away. So the average number of days a kitten remains at the facility is up slightly from last year, and the average number of days a cat remains at the facility remains high, but we're expecting this to come down because it was unusual for us to get those cats adopted out after such a long stay, but it's partly due to COVID and partly because they had kittens. So on February 28th, there were no dogs and 5 cats and kittens at the facility. So our compliance calls are down in February. Area patrols in municipalities are lower because we have reduced staffing hours and due to COVID. And the facility remains closed, but staff are providing by appointment services and keeping contacts of all clients that enter the facility. Any questions?
Open it up to board members. Comments, questions? See none. I don't have any. It's interesting. Our numbers are trending downward.
Yes.
So if there's nothing else on our managed report, we need a mover and a seconder, please, to receive that report for information. Thanks, John. Seconded by Sherry. All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. I'm putting the numbers up there now, Emily. There we go. Thank you.
Okay, the animal control report, we had animal control investigating 3 complaints in the month of February. 2 complaints were from Port Hope and 1 complaint was from Olmec-Caldeman Township. Port Hope, the dog complained of a dog running at large, and animal control ensured that the dog had current rabies and municipal tags and gave a warning. There was also a complaint of an aggressive dog. We weren't able to follow up because the person never called us back with an actual apartment number. So this was actually in a building. So normally this is not our jurisdiction, but being that it was aggressive, we wanted to at least look into that, made sure it had rabies. But the caller never called back again. Alma Calderman also had a complaint of an aggressive dog, and then when we went to investigate, we found that the owner had already rehomed the dog out of the area. And the Ontario legislature now passed a motion to make violence link training mandatory for all enforcement officers, and Municipal Animal Services staff attended the online violent link training presentation on February 11th. And you'll also notice on, there's a new line that I placed on the statistic sheets showing that I've split now the duties up between dogs and cats. It used to just be whenever animal control went out for duty, but I've put those apart. Just thought it might be some information we might need going forward looking at dogs and cats. So we actually split that out.
Good idea, Elizabeth.
So
That's a good idea.
For that one.
Also, any questions about that section of the presentation? Yes, Sherry.
Yeah, through you, Chair, to Elizabeth. Elizabeth, can you just give us a really brief overview on what the violence link training encompass for your staff, you and your staff?
It's just was a training session to point out things to watch for, because they found that there is a link between animal abuse and child abuse and other family violence matters. And since often the first line will be something happening with an animal, that to just keep your eyes open and to see if you spot anything that could be taken as out of the ordinary, and just to be able to let other officials know. So if you see something odd, it's more designed for police officers, but we might see something when we're investigating something with an animal.
And then you're passing on any concerns you might have to the appropriate municipal
Yes.
police service.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we have no questions.
Yep. I have a question.
John, sorry, I missed you. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Through you, Chair, to Elizabeth. With that complaint of the aggressive dog and Alderman at home, where they've said they've rehomed it to out of the area, does that mean just out of Alma Calderman, or does that mean right out of Northumberland County?
Out of Northumberland County, it went to a homeward bound rescue that's out of the area, and they're hoping to work with the dog and get it used to people.
Okay, I was just wondering whether it sort of got passed along to somewhere else in the county, and we should be aware of where it is for future. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have no other questions. We need another motion, please, to receive report 7.2 for information.
So moved.
Thank you, Sherry. Second.
Second.
All in favor? That's carried. Then we're at 7.3. Again, Elizabeth, dog bite report.
Okay.
Emily, can you scroll please to the next report? The animal bite. Thank you.
Yeah. So we had an animal bite on Corker, giving out to the board members and the clerks of the municipality, so everyone's informed whenever a dog bite happens. So this was a recent one that happened in Hamilton Township, and just actually I've got the follow-up ready to hand out now. So this dog went after some people who were walking by on the road, and they received a bite wound.
Number, so they can see.
And then The dog has now served its quarantine. It did have its rabies up to date, and the dog has been rehomed now out of the area.
Okay, thank you. Any questions about this one? We'll take John's question over again. When you say rehome, you mean right out of our
Right out
jurisdiction?
of the area, and it's more.
Okay. Thank you. So if there are no other questions, then we're looking again for a motion to receive 7.3 for information. Thanks, John. Seconded by Sherry. All in favor? That's also carried. Thank you. So moving to section 8, notice of motions and resolutions, none. Bylaws, none. I did not prepare any comments. I thought we would be pushing it. I guess we had lots of time. I thought we'd be pushing it to try and get finished by 1:30 for the closed session. The only thing I was going to discuss, and I don't have the details, but we did get a letter. I don't know if the other municipalities got an email request from a lady asking for support regarding she's sending a petition, excuse me, I got tongue tied there from it. She circulated a petition requesting signatures against trying to get some legislation to stop all the puppy mills that have been springing up over the course of the pandemic. I'm absolutely stunned at the price of dogs right now. I can't believe they've just absolutely skyrocketed, and it's bringing out some of our poor element, I'm afraid, with dogs. So I don't have the exact email, but you know, John or Sherry, did you guys get that email through your municipality?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, it's gonna, I'm pretty sure it's put on our next agenda for just under communications at our council. So when I get the details, I'll just send an email to you guys if you want to. It's not asking for municipalities, it's looking actually for just independent signatures. But you know, I think when we get it, maybe we get it on our websites and maybe our MAS website as well. Just try to help the lady along, see if she can get some legislation passed. So that'll be an individual choice, of course.
Chair Kane, I did have that ready to add to the agenda, and I just forgot it.
Well, that's all right.
She was from Victoria,
Yes, that's a British Columbia address. No,
but there was
I think she's interested in a Canada-wide legislation, or federal legislation. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So.
Yeah, there was a petition that closed on March the 15th, I believe it was, something like that.
Won't do us much good to pass it on now then. Okay, thank you. So is there any new or other business for members of the board or staff? And we have no other correspondence. I believe our closed session's not scheduled till 1:30. So in the interest of making sure that people who have been invited have time to log on, I guess we're in a little pause. Do you want to make a motion now to go into close starting at 1:30?
Chair Kane, the first item on the closed session agenda involves a report that Elizabeth will speak to.
And it does not involve any other members of the...
No, it doesn't. It only involves those that are present.
Well, that's great. So then are we going to stay right on this particular Zoom location? We're not switching locations?
No, we're not. We're staying on the same.
We're simply filtering out people who are not. Okay.
Yes.
So could we have a motion then, please, to go to closed? And that closed meeting will include the MAS staff, the MAS board, our clerks, and Elizabeth as the MAS manager will be at the first part of the session. Could we have a motion, please? Thanks, John. Seconded by Sherry. All in favor? So we are now closed. I'm just gonna take a quick.
Through you, Chair Kane, I'm just
Yeah.
going to ask those members of the public.
Yes, we did have someone signed in.
Yes.
We'll also stop the YouTube recording.
Yes.
Yes.
And